You are now tuned into Super Soft Radio. My name is Tasha. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today is all about Miami. What a weekend. Like, I never come into Miami expecting that much. The past couple of times we've been there, the races aren't like that exciting. The weekend is not that great. It's actually really cringy a lot of the times because they come here to America and like do the most stereotypical crazy shit. And I think this year they just kind of chilled, which is like very Miami. Like, just come here, chill, party, hang out, like leave the football helmets to the Miami Dolphins. Okay. Like, you don't need to be doing all that. But I don't know. I just feel like overall everybody was in a really good mood. All the lead up content to this, everybody just seemed like they were loosening up. Oscar Piastri was yapping his little head off with one of the football players. I can't remember who, but there was like a clip of him and the football player like walking through the stadium and just like chatting about like their seasons and their jobs and all this stuff. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, how many times have I ever heard Oscar say this many words like in a row? So he seemed very relaxed. Oh my God. He was taught how to do the gritty, which he said that if he won, he'd do it. Or no, the guy that was teaching him was like, if you win, you have to do it. And Oscar was like, okay, well, then I guess I'll have to win. And then spoiler alert, you know what I mean? So that was kind of funny. They called it the soft shoe shuffle on the broadcast. And that sent me straight into orbit. I was like, what did you just say to me? It's called the gritty. I know it didn't look like one. I know he has some work to do, but hey, I thought it was pretty cool that like he basically was joking like, yeah, sure, I guess I'll just have to win it. And then he did. And now we have this viral clip of Oscar Piastri attempting this dance to live on the internet forever. So yeah, everybody seemed really relaxed. The Lego parade, whoever imagined that and brought it to life, may your pillow always stay cold. Okay. Like, you deserve all the best things in life. I loved seeing them in the garages, the models of these cars built in the garages. I thought they were just like, really impressive, nearly scale models of all the F1 cars. And that was cool enough. But then on Sunday, to see them race those little Lego cars around the track, oh my, and the joy, they're all cackling and just having the damn time of their lives. Like that was everything, I think, to me over the weekend. Like, first of all, the like fact that they were like riding in tandem. So there was just 10 cars. And so they all had to like, one person got to drive, the other person got to sit in the back. And that was cute. But it's the fact they were like driving the cars into each other, which was like just insane to me. These friggin' fragile Lego cars that they spent probably months building these cars and shipping them so they could be perfect for this parade. And they just like are running each other into the walls, cutting chicanes, like just doing all kinds of terrorism in these Lego mobiles. There were Lego pieces everywhere. There is one clip of like Lewis and Charles on one side and then like George, Kimmy on the other side. And then in between them somehow is the Alpine. And one of the two cars turns in on the Alpine and all you hear is this loud crunch and like their front wing just disintegrates. And Lewis just cackles. And I'm just like, I have tears in my eyes laughing because the sound and the sight of Legos everywhere was insane. So you can catch that. I think it's still up on the F1 YouTube channel. It's like their pre-race show. Definitely worth watching because it will lighten and brighten your day. But that was kind of the highlight, I feel like, for me. Like, the vibes felt really nice and it was really sweet to see the Lego cars, like I said. But the racing, child, oh my God. The sprint ended up being a very successful hate watch for me. I cannot lie. I was laughing. Like, speaking of cackling, I was cackling. I had tears rolling down my face. It was just one of those races where it's like everything was normal up until the point in which it wasn't. And then everything just went wrong. Like, the unsafe release with Max, and he, runs into Kimmy. So they have like a collision in the pit lane. Carlos Sainz like hits the wall or clips the wall and messes up his car. Oh my God. Liam Lawson torpedoing Fernando Alonso. Fernando, who was like this close to getting his very first points of the season. And Liam was like, not on my watch. That was it for me. And then like all the while, like crazy shit's happening. Lewis pits for softs, which I was like, okay, all right, sir, let's see what you got. And he was just like storming his way through the field. So as he's like making up positions, bad shit's happening everywhere for everybody else. And I'm laughing because he went from like, I don't even remember where we were out of the points at some point, and then we just kept going up and up. And I'm laughing because I don't know why it was just so funny to me. I don't know why it was so funny to me. But the fact that he was just ripping through the field, and then left and right, all our enemies were just falling. I don't know. What could not have been more entertaining for me, unless Lewis won, which I feel like without that safety car, we probably would have been, I think we would have done it, to be quite honest. Because Lando still needed to pit, and there were some other things that needed to happen to finish that race. But yeah, we ended up behind the safety car. Fine. P3, fine. Lewis seemed ecstatic with that result. Afterward, when he was sitting on the little like podium where they put the helmets, he was sitting on it, just like kicking his feet, very happy, beaming from ear to ear. Like, I feel like sometimes he just is like, I think he enjoys the overtaking and running up the field, to be quite honest. I just feel like sometimes he just enjoys that part of his job. So you could just tell he was like extremely, extremely happy with that P3. Like, and you know what? I was happy as well, because I'm like, yeah, like, sure, we could have won, but we didn't. And this is still an okay result. So especially considering where we started. Oh my God. Then you had like Charles, who didn't even get to participate in the sprint because he hydroplaned into a wall because of Ferrari and their special decision-making skills. Like, it was just a wacky, goofy race. Like, partly rain or rainy, partly dry, just a lot happened. So the sprint delivered. I think we're 2 out of 2 on entertaining sprints for the season, which like I never would have said before. I just don't like sprint races, or I just felt like I did not see the value in them. But I don't know, this season so far, I feel like because they've both been kind of like very unpredictable in terms of like the result, they've been fun. They've been fun to watch. Kimmy got pole for the sprint, but he wasn't able to retain that position when the race started. Oscar ended up getting the better of him. That was a whole thing. He pushed me off. Like, he was not pushed off, but I think Kimmy now sees how tough of a competitor, or how tough the competition is up front. So it's like, yeah, it was nice to see him get a pole, but it's like, the next step is now you actually have to have some kind of like strategy, racecraft to keep that position. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see what he learned from that experience. But Oscar looked so solid in the sprint. He looked solid in the main race as well. Like, this was a really great weekend for him once again. So yeah, I don't know. The sprint went well to me because nobody that I cared about was in a wall, and amen for that. Let me know what you guys thought about the sprint. Do you guys agree? Was it a good race? I mean, it's a sprint, so obviously there's only a ceiling in terms of like how good it could actually be. But I felt like it was actually one of the more entertaining ones so far. And then obviously that leads us to like the main race. Let me just say, I'm just going to focus on Ferrari at the moment, because the thing is, the indicator that this weekend was going to be on some bullshit was apparent from the time that they launched that special livery, that special HP livery that looks a damn mess, in those damn race suits that make Lewis look like a damn Williams driver. Like, why are we in Williams cosplay, guys? This is nuts. I personally was offended that he had to wear that stupid ass race suit. And I was even more offended that the car looked like an unfinished PowerPoint presentation. Like, what the corporate hell is going on with HP as a sponsor? I don't understand. I don't know. They don't vibe. They don't gel. They don't mesh with the team, the aura of the team. Like, can they sign a check? Sure. But my God, they're bringing the aura down every single weekend. And this race did not need a special Hewlett Packard livery. It did not need it. It was not necessary. I was saying on my friend's podcast that I really feel like we need to bring tobacco brands and alcohol brands back into the fold when it comes to team sponsors. Please don't boo me, because listen, the aura. Like, no, we shouldn't be smoking and drinking, whatever. But at this point, I just really feel like we need to think about the aesthetics. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I just really feel like we need to be thinking about how these cars look, because at the moment they don't race that well. So all you really have is your looks, and we don't even have that. So yeah, I think the indication of this weekend not going great started with that special livery. It also started with them wasting everybody's time, being like, oh, send the team messages and we'll print them on the car. And they were not on a car. They were on a sheet, and the sheet was on the car. And then, like, no one read the messages before they pulled that shit off and revealed the world's ugliest, dumbest livery ever. So that was the warning right there that this weekend was going to be some bull. And yeah, the race, to me, I just felt like, one, to backtrack slightly, I think Lewis had a really good weekend, like recovery from Jeddah. Jeddah felt like a real low point. Nobody left that weekend feeling confident in themselves. I try not to read too much into it. I was like, it's Jeddah. It seems like a race that he's not normally confident in anyway, or at least in the past like couple of seasons. And then on top of that, he's not confident or comfortable in the car. So it just felt like a recipe for what happened, essentially. So I just try to take it as that and not read too far into it. And then when you come, to Miami, and you see that Lewis is much closer in quali, he's able to recover positions in the sprint race. Even in the main race, he recovered quite a few positions as well. It's like, this, all in all, not really that bad of a weekend for Lewis on paper. The issue, and this is the issue that I spotted in Australia, and obviously this is an issue that has persisted with this team for many seasons, is the communication. The car is slow. So we have to accept that and just move on. It's just slow. We did not bring any upgrades to Miami. So that was the other thing, like coming into the weekend, like there was no expectations for anything spectacular to happen. And that's fine, because that's where we're at. You know what I mean? Like we're just in this weird limbo space, but upgrades are coming. So let's just get through this weekend. That's what I thought was going to happen. Like we were just going to get through the weekend. So, getting into the race and the expectation for, finishing positions, I really did not think that we were going to end up much higher than where we were. I thought maybe we would have a better chance to get around both Williams, if anything. But, I thought somewhere in the like 6 to 8 range was going to basically be our fate for the weekend. Fine, right? Like that's fine. But it's just the way that it felt like pulling teeth to get those positions. Like, why was it so hard? Or why did it feel so hard to get through a race where we pretty much were guaranteed 7 and 8th? And it felt like we had to fight for 7 and 8th. Like, Like the car can't be slow and the strategy team can't be slow. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we do have to pick a struggle at some point. We do have to pick a struggle at some point. And like that's what this weekend felt like. It's like we were just struggling at everything unnecessarily. Meanwhile, the drivers are doing pretty much everything in their power to call their own shots and to stay on the track and just get, as many points as possible in these cars. Like I felt like the drivers really tried and did everything that they could. But the issue is that the strategy team and the communications are still so below par, like so below par. And this was evident in Australia. And this was what I was worried about. Because unlike everybody else, I always knew that Lewis was going to begin to, gel more with the car. And even as we've seen him not being 100% comfortable, he still has been hauling points. So he's still been useful, right, to the team. So, but still, he's in progress, but he's making progress. The car, it's slow. It's been slow, but they're like, hey, we're bringing upgrades. We have a plan. We know what's happening. And, I'm just sitting here like, well, until we get to the future where these upgrades work or don't work, I can't say whether or not they will or not. So I just have to trust. But at least there's a plan. There's something in place to potentially make progress, right? Pit stops have been incredible this season. I think we consistently have the fastest pit stops on our team. We're leading the pit stop championship because of how amazing the pit stop. So that's improved a lot. You have Charles, who, again, competent driver, somebody who's trying to maximize the car that he has, even though it's not great. And he is struggling to get and produce better results because there is just a ceiling on this car right now. But he's in progress. And so I feel like there's so many areas where the team has improved or is in progress of making improvements. And then you get to the strategy side. And you get to the communication side. And it's like, where is that progress? And what are we doing to change things? And this is why so many of the fans are like, bro, just clear it out. Clean house, start over. Because we'll discuss it internally, no blame culture happening at Ferrari. Like it's to their detriment. You know what I mean? Like it's not doing them any favors, acting like, nothing's wrong. We'll work on it. It's fine. It's not fine. It's not fine. And if we have resigned to the fact that this is a learning season for Lewis and for the team and everybody to just get their shit together, then something drastic does have to happen this season in order for 2026 to go as smooth as possible. Right? That's at least my line of thinking. Like something has to give because you can't have two drivers who I do think are the two strongest drivers on the track. One, like I said, barely understands where things are and how things work, but he's still doing more than you would expect, right? At this juncture in the season. So he's not really the person causing the issue. And I just feel like it's the strategy team. It's the strategy team. Like that whole situation toward the end of the race where Lewis pits for mediums and Charles is on hard. It should not have taken however many laps. It took 4 laps, 5 laps for them to decide to invert Lewis and Charles. And by the time that they did, Lewis's mediums were useless. So he did start to make inroads toward catching Kimi. But if he had fresh mediums, he probably would have caught him. And that could have been a 6th place versus the 7th place. So it's that was really frustrating. And hearing Lewis be very frustrated vocally over the radio, not really holding back, I think Ferrari deserves that kind of energy. Truthfully, I know people don't want to hear, turmoil. And I think there's a fine line, right, between being abusive on the radio to your engineers. And I think what Lewis was doing, which was just being sarcastic, blunt, cut dry, like whatever you want to call it. So I'm not trying to hear that shit. Like, he wasn't being abusive, but he definitely was, I think, making it very clear how dissatisfied that he was with the decision-making process. Like, why is it taking this many laps to invert these cars? Because to his point, when he was a slower car, was it in China or Japan? He offered. Like, let Charles go around me. Like, he offered. And then they inverted the cars, and then that was that. Like, that was the end of it. But he's like, now he's like, Charles is slowing me down. I'm wasting my tires. Like, nobody's thinking like, hey, like, let's do the right thing here. Like, let me through so I can at least try to catch Kimmy. Like, it's not even a thought in your mind. I think he said in the post conference that, like, he's like, that's just how I think. He said, like, no, I don't really want to lose a place. But he's like, if it helps the team secure more points, then it's basically like a no-brainer. So it's like, while we're fighting over who's going to be ending in 7th or 8th, we could have been working together as a team to potentially get a sixth place. So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that whole situation was just so frustrating. I was not anticipating coming out of that race feeling frustrated. I truly was not. Like, I honestly, like I said, I went into the weekend with pretty much no expectations. I won't even say low expectations. I just had none. I was like, I'm chilling. It's Miami. Kick up your feet, chill out, Lego cars, fun TikToks. Oh my God, VCARB with the dope ass livery. Like, it just felt like good vibes. So like, the race did not need to like make me feel this way, but I definitely left them just like, this is pathetic. This is pathetic. And then you have Fred, who, love me some Fred. You all know, love that little baldy down. Okay. But like, and I don't expect him. And so I guess this is the other thing. Like, I don't expect him to get on anybody's microphone and start like talking shit about his team. I actually don't expect him to really say much differently than what he has been saying. But I guess I just feel like, because Lewis is taking this opportunity to be a lot more forthcoming about the frustrations that he's feeling and like where they need to improve, I don't think it looks good that the team principal kind of says like, everything's fine. Nothing to see here. We'll work it out. Because this is the same song and dance that they do all the time and have been doing for many years, even before Fred. So it just feels like, I don't know. We just, something has to change. The attitudes have to change. Like, one of the key things I recall looking forward to seeing, that I recall them being kind of excited for, was Lewis's feedback. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you have him there to give this type of feedback and to be this type of person on the team who you can look to help improve things, I think you have to take this type of situation very serious, because this is race 6, by the way. No stakes, right? Like, no stakes for Ferrari. Everybody is fully looking at them for exactly what they are. It's just a slow team, right? New people, like, new car, fully new car. I think everybody's just finally fully accepting, like, this is just where they're at. It's a little shocking, but it's the truth. It's the reality. So nobody's expecting that much. So of the things that you can control in a weekend where you didn't bring upgrades and your car is not that fast, why is this so hard? Why are we struggling so much with something that should just be like second nature at this point? Because a lot of the people that are on the strategy team have been there for so long. Like, they should be a well-oiled machine. And I don't see that. And I know it's not just about like the two engineers, Ricky and Brian, that talks to drivers, but like the pit wall as well. It's everybody. It's everybody. So yeah, I see why Lewis is frustrated. I see why he's on the radio getting Spicy as hell. That radio that he said, Ricky was like, when they reinverted the cars, so Lewis was back behind Charles. And Ricky's like, Sainz is 1.4 seconds behind. And Lewis said, should I let him through as well? Like, you just in that moment felt it. You just felt it. He's over it. He's so over it. Because we're fighting for P7 and P8. And y'all are acting like this is the most difficult, hardest race we've ever had to race. And I don't get it. I don't get it. Now, I'm a spectator, and I don't know how difficult it is to make these types of changes to F1 teams. But I will say this. It's worth taking the time to do it, whatever that looks like. Because this is why I look at a Williams or a Haas, and I'm very interested in what they're doing and how they're doing it, because look at how much progress they've made. Like Williams last season was not a great season for them, but they were changing so much stuff internally and operationally that it was worth the growing pains. It was worth going through like kind of a shit season, not having enough parts, not having enough whatever, right? But now it feels like, and I'm not saying it's perfect, but I just feel like you can see the progress. They went through the growing pains, or they're going through the growing pains, and it's getting better. And I feel like Ferrari doesn't want to go through the growing pains process. You know what I mean? Like, they keep just trying to like throw drivers at the problem, but the problem is not the drivers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the drivers. So I think they just need to go through a period of like culling people, hiring people, culling people if they don't work out. Like, be aggressive, be ruthless. Like, do what you can to get the best people in these positions. Like, Lewis is on a 3-year contract, 2+1. Okay. So just from his perspective, and this is why I feel like he's like snap, 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 because he doesn't have time. Like, Charles could theoretically spend the next like 5-6 years of his life at Ferrari. You know what I mean? Lewis doesn't have that kind of time. Like, snap, snap, babes. Like, we need to, what are we doing here? So like this very like slow moving way of life at Ferrari like has to change. And if you brought Lewis in to change stuff about the culture, like, then embrace that. Embrace it, because it does look baffling to be like, nothing's really, it's fine, because it's not fine. And it hasn't been fine. And I know Charles was probably so frustrated, but I also feel like he's like vindicated, because he's like, this is that shit I've been talking about. See? And I don't think Charles is ever gonna, get on into the media pen and say the same things that Lewis is saying, the way that Lewis is saying it. But I feel like Lewis is on a very different wave to Charles. And I feel like, as somebody who just came out of a similar situation, Mercedes was quite similar. Car, not very competitive. And then they had the nerve to be shitty on strategy, and not just in the races, but also when they sent them out in quali. Y'all remember what that was like. They kept trying to send them out late as hell. Like, they had the car and the 1 lap pace to do that. Pit stops were slow. They've since improved quite a bit, but like, that was a huge thing. And it's like, we don't have the car, we don't have the performance, but now we don't have the pit stops and we don't have strategies as well. Like, again, pick a struggle. Like, I fully believe that when your team is lacking in some area, you need to overcompensate in the other areas that you can control. So yeah, we are waiting on upgrades. I don't know if they're going to be effective. I don't know. I have to trust the team that they know what they are talking about. But again, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, because if the upgrades come and they don't work, then we can have a whole nother conversation. But right now, the big glaring obvious like bump in the road are the people who run the strategy. And I feel like that's really the thing that they need to be focus on the most. While they don't have the car, focus on the strategy. Like, Are you going to be able to strategize your way, to a podium? Probably not. But can we do a little bit better than P7 and P8? Probably. Yeah, probably. We're fighting with our freaking customer teams. Lewis behind Esteban for 20 laps. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, and again, same thing at Mercedes. McLaren was whooping their ass and still whooping their ass. It's a customer team. What are you guys doing? But again, you look at the teams that are like beating them or better than them. I know I've seen people like talk shit about like, oh, we're fighting a Williams, we're fighting a Haas. These are not the Haas's and the Williams from 2 years ago. You got to pay attention. I'm telling you, they've been putting in work. Ayo Komatsu at Haas came in the last minute. But he has so much technical knowledge and he's just done a great job. They still obviously don't have as many resources as the bigger teams, but what they have with the resources that they have, look at what they've done. 2 great new drivers, again, better car, and they're just maximizing it. Williams, same thing. Got rid of the fucking Excel spreadsheets, got their shit together operationally. James came in and he has like a vision. He's so good at leading a team. And they went from a solid back marker team to a solid midfield team. And really like a little bit higher than that. And I think once they can get more upgrades on the car, like who knows where they're going to be. But you've seen incremental like improvement every season. So I'm like, that's the difference. Mercedes, I don't feel like has improved that much in the past like 3 seasons. McLaren has. We saw them be from like the bottom tier team to this. So it's possible. And I do feel like there's other things we need to be looking at in order to like improve beyond just the car. That's obviously a huge piece of it. But I do feel like there's just a lot going on at Ferrari that they have to work this out. Fumbling Lewis Hamilton in the few years that you're going to have him will be I think a bigger fumble than Mercedes, because at least at Mercedes, they accomplished all that stuff together. But to have Lewis and Charles and just waste them both, please. So I don't know. I don't know if all hope is lost, in my opinion, for Ferrari for the season. I'm definitely, this is race 6. We're going into round 7 in a couple weeks. Like, I don't know how much of the deficit that they have, accumulated they can eat into. I do think like there's some stuff going on with like the Red Bulls and the Mercedes that might make that a little bit of a interesting, like I do think P3 right now is attainable because I think we're really close to Red Bull. So I do think we can overtake them for P3. I think Mercedes, I do think P2, I think by the end of the season, if the development of the car stays on track and it does get better, and at least at the very least more competitive, I do think we can aim for P2 in the constructor. I think that should be the minimum because that was the achievement last season. So I think McLaren's out of reach. Like a disaster would have to happen for them to not win that constructor championship and for one of their drivers to not win the driver championship. So I think that's like completely out of reach, but I do think that the team should be aiming toward P2 for the constructor because that's what they did last season. And I do feel like there's opportunity there to do that, but I feel like it has to be soon, like in the next few races, right? They have to kind of start making some headway because they've just accumulated such a huge deficit. So yeah, I wasn't worried too much like at the, first few races because I'm like, we're just 3 races in, but now we're about to be 7 races in. And I'm like, you know what I mean? It's not like such a disaster for other teams as it is for Ferrari. So yeah, they blew me a little bit this weekend. I just was not expecting to be this pissed off. And it was like, I think it's just also to the realization that it's not such an easy fix. It's not like they could throw an upgrade on the team, you know what I mean? And like suddenly everybody starts working to their full potential. It's something that's going to take some time. So it's like, you guys have to take the time to do it. Like blank checks everywhere, poach people, do what you can. I did see an interesting comment actually on Reddit that kind of talked about one of Ferrari's big issues in terms of like attracting talent is the fact that they don't have a factory in the UK. Now, I ended up agreeing with this because I'm like, this actually does make a lot of sense because people can bounce back and forth between the different teams in the UK, for example, because, at that point, you're just changing your commute, right? Like, you're not having to pick up your whole life and learn a whole new language, move to Italy to be with Ferrari. And I think Ferrari's problem, besides the location, is also like the team hasn't won in how many years? And even though Lewis, I think, is an exciting prospect who I believe Fred said, one of the benefits of having him as well is the fact that he attracts people, like he attracts the top engineers and top talent to come to the team. But I just feel like if you have Lewis Hamilton on the team and, you're still kind of operating at this level, like who's really going to want to pick up their life and move to Maranello, Italy? So they were saying that they think that Ferrari should maybe open like a UK like office. And I'm like, that makes sense. Because then I feel like they'd have a little bit more, they have a little bit more interest in people, like, because it seems like there's pretty high turnover in F1, like people just switch teams a lot. So yeah, I think if they're in the mix, then it at least helps some of the issue that they have, which I think is that they tend to hire a lot internally. And so people are just who are there, who are part of the problem, just get put in a different department, So I think that's kind of it. They just need some like real fresh blood and real like interest from top prospects from other teams that don't have to like fully uproot their lives to come work for their team, but they need it. They need something. We need something. So that's how I felt about Ferrari after Miami. I guess I'm looking forward to the upgrades. I could have sworn the Imola was the target, but I'm also seeing Barcelona pop up. I'm not sure the truth. I hope to God it's Imola though. For real. Another race with no upgrades on the car, like just put the nail in the coffin. So it has to be Imola, but Imola, Barcelona, whatever. That's what I'm looking forward to with Ferrari, just to see, okay, like, is the technical department, are they onto something? Can we cook? Like, let us know. Because I do feel ultimately, until things get better, I do feel like Charles and Lewis are going to be the ones calling as much of the shots as they can. I did think it was interesting at the beginning of the season. Lewis came in and he, you could tell he really was like, I don't want to step on anybody's toes. You do your job, I do my job. I don't want to come in and, impose. But I do feel like slowly he's starting to realize, okay, I got to impose a little bit, teeny tiny little bit, because you're taking your sweet ass time and I have things to do. So I do feel like Charles and Lewis might take matters into their own hands. They seem to be good at it because every time one of those two has had to call their own shots, it's given them a result that they otherwise would not have had. So that's kind of appalling that they're the ones in the car having to constantly make the correct shot. And we're not seeing heads roll at Ferrari for people who are paid to do strategy and paid to make sure that they're the ones making these decisions in a timely manner. So yeah, Ferrari just, oof. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't want to fucking hear it. Oh, you're getting the full Ferrari experience. I will slap all of you. I'll slap all of you. Like, I don't want to hear that shit. I'm sorry. Like, this is crazy. Y'all live like this? Like, this is crazy. They run Mercedes like the damn Marines, okay? Like, get it together. Get it together. my cheerleading squad was more efficient than this shit. Like, trust. There are competent people in the world who can whip Ferrari into shape. Does Ferrari want to be whipped into shape? That is the real question that needs to be asked. Because I can guarantee there's people who have come in with plans or who have thought like, surely I can make a difference there. So what's the real kink in the chain? Who and where is it? Because somebody's holding up the progress of this team, or some people are holding up the progress of this team. And like, we need to root them out, pay them off, and get them the hell out of there, and put some people in who like actually want to do their job, who actually want to maximize the talent that they have, that they bring in. Like, I feel so bad for Lewis because I'm just like, bro, were we not just in the same position? You know, were we not just here at Mercedes? Like, that's wild. It's wild to be in like the same scenario, but in Italian font. You know what I mean? Like, like it's not, not cute. What else happened this weekend before I slip back into depression? Oscar, my darling Oscar. I just have to shout him out. Like, for real. I just feel like as somebody who I got to like watch his very first season in Formula One to now, I feel like his progress has just been so incredible. The speed in which he has adapted, going from like one of the last bottom tier teams to now potentially winning a world championship, a driver championship in the span of like 3 seasons, under 3 seasons, is insane. Like, the weekend that he has had, the weekend he's been having, I told you guys in I think my last podcast, or maybe the previous one, where I was like, he's obviously a great competitor. What I need to see now is like, can he string wins together? Right? Because that just seems to be the hard thing to do for some people, is like to win more than once in a row. So now we're on win 3? Like, that's a bad mother. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I was looking for. Again, great mindset. We talk about that in contrast to Lando all the time, because it's just very obvious that they approach, everything about their careers very differently. But to me, the thing that really impresses me about Oscar is just like his team, Mark Webber. You can tell like they really are helping him to stay so locked in. They really helped him prepare really well for this season. Like, I think they knew before, coming back to start the new season, that look, we're in it this year. Like, they helped him improve all kinds of areas in his racecraft. And like, you could just see like now between Lando and Oscar, there's really not much there. Like, there's not many, what am I even trying to say anymore? There's not much room in between their performances. Like, over one lap, they're pretty similar. Race pace, pretty similar. They both still make around the same amount of mistakes as each other. But there's really just like not much in between them. I think the real big differentiator, obviously, like I keep saying, is just that like stronger mental approach to Oscar. And the fact that he's willing to work super hard at making improvements and making them very quickly. But I feel like Miami, like the sprint, the race starts that he's been having have been just so good. Like, he's just not afraid of anybody. Like, he's just having great starts. I mean, I don't know. And then he gets the hell out of Dodge. Like, he's like, I'm going to be up the road by 8 seconds. So don't come looking for me. Don't come try to find me. Like, I'm gone. And I just really love that for him. I really just love how focused and how strong his performances have been. So I don't know. I'm happy for him. I'm proud of him. And I don't know. I'm just hoping that he can kind of continue this. I think that's the next thing for me that I'll be looking at. Like, can he keep the momentum now that he has it? Is it something that he can sustain? Because I do feel like last season he kind of fell off. He had, really strong start to the season, most of the season really. And then he just kind of like fell off in the end. So I guess that's going to be the biggest question mark. The next thing, I do think quali though for the McLarens, if I had to like nitpick anything, I do think that the McLarens, they got to be a little bit more serious when it comes to quali, because that car is insane. She's insane. So I do think that, that car should be on pole every race. I'm not even going to lie. Oscar or Lando's car, one of the two. And then again, a 1-2 front row lockout, because that car is capable of it. So I do think they need to kind of lock in when it comes to quali. I don't know what's going on there, why they tend to kind of have that little last minute yip type of thing happening, but that needs to tighten up. And then, yeah, I guess smooth sailing from there. So, but yeah, shout out to Oscar. I don't know. I'm really impressed by him. I'm really excited about him, like as a future world champion, as like just in general, his career. I just feel like he's just somebody that you don't see come along that often, right? Like he just has like this it factor. And I mean, you can't put your finger on it, but it's just like he's something special. The people around him are very supportive and obviously are like helping nurture that. And they're getting the best out of him because of that. So yeah, shout out to Oscar, because he's been having a great season to start with. That gritty needs work, I will say. That is something they should definitely that should definitely be the next thing on the checklist to get done. So we'll work on the celebration dances. Since it seems like he's going to be winning a lot more, I think we definitely should work on the celebration dances a bit. But yeah, Miami suited him well, I will say. He definitely seemed like he loosened up a lot, which was really nice to see. I don't agree with people who are like, he doesn't have any emotion. Like I have seen a little like that type of narrative go, but I'm like, he's just he's just chill. Like he's just a chill guy. Like I get that sometimes. I mean, you probably would never guess it from this podcast, but because I wild out a little bit on here. But I have been asked in the past, like, we went to a gym for a while. We were there for a long time, me and my partner. And our instructor looks at my partner and goes, does she ever yell like during fights or anything? And I mean, I'm standing right there, but he's asking him about me. And I'm just like, like, what does that even mean? But it's just like, it's so funny that people will like, if you're a chill person, that people just perceive you as like being like emotionless or like, nothing gets to you, nothing phases you. And it's like, it does, but like we process it different, or we like express it differently. But yes, you still feel things. Yes, I yell. I'm a yeller. Okay, like please don't piss me off. I'll slap a bitch if I have to, if it comes down to it. But yeah, I just thought that was funny. But I'm like, yeah, slightly relatable to that, because it's like people can't read you, which is such an asset. I feel like it's such an asset because people either underestimate you, right? Or they like can't place it at all. And it throws them off even more, because it's like they can't rattle you. They can't upset you. Like they can't figure you out. And it's like a good poker face. It's like having a really good poker face. Like it's so hard to read and figure out like what's going on. So I do feel like that's kind of his advantage right now over Lando. Yeah, I mean, that's really the biggest thing I can say, because he's just very clinical about it and very consistent. But again, I do still see some areas where both he and Lando can improve in some ways. But I mean, again, this is his third season in F1. Like he's going to get there no matter what little nitpicky things I have, he's going to figure it out. So yeah, looking forward to the rest of the season for McLaren and seeing what they can do with that team and with one of their drivers pushing them toward the championship. Do I even care about anything else? Oh yes, Red Bull, girl, what is going on? What is going on? I don't have much to say because this was, again, one of my little preseason things that I was like, that team, it seems like it's falling apart. And I wasn't wrong. Um, those pit stops, they were like world class at some point. What is going on? What's happening? What the hell? Max, the amount of impeding he did over the weekend and got nary a penalty. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy work. It's just, I don't know. Like, it's just, like I said, like, I think sometimes you just have to like look at things exactly how they are. And I just feel like Red Bull is struggling. And I think it translates into these pretty poor, for them at least, performances that they're having. I think it's an opportunity for teams around them, i.e. like Mercedes, Ferrari, when they get their shit together. I'm like, it's a huge opportunity to, leapfrog them because they don't seem like they are working well together at all. It does seem like there's just something under the surface, and I'm sure we're mere weeks or months from finding out what that is. But yeah, it just doesn't seem very harmonious there, and you can definitely see that it's affecting the performances of both Max and Yuki. I still think Yuki's doing pretty all right. Like, I think he's staying within like what the top 10 points, except for like whatever race that he ended up like crashing or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like they are just struggling, but I feel like amongst that struggle, I think Yuki's adapting pretty all right. Nothing great, but not horrific, not the P20s that we have been used to. So I think that's good. I think that's something anyway. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I have for Ferrari, or for Red Bull. Sorry. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's like this weekend was like very energetic and fun, but at the same time, it's like, I think we're just seeing same old, really, from Jeddah and from Bahrain. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like every little tiny problem is starting to become much bigger and more exaggerated as time goes by. So I guess we just need to figure out, are these things fixable? Is this something that we can even change within this season? I don't know. Red Bull seems like it's having a big issue. I keep wanting to bring this up and I totally forget every single time, but the technical directive for Spain that Red Bull keeps bringing up about the flexi wings, I guess we're going to have to wait and see. I mean, obviously we're going to have to wait and see, but I am curious if that affects McLaren at all or any of the other teams. Because I mean, I'm not trying to throw out illegal allegations at the McLaren, but she looks insane. That's a very fast rocket car. So will the flexi wing technical directive affect them? I would love to know. That whole technical directive about the brakes last season. I mean, allegedly nobody was partaking in the brake situation, but Red Bull's brakes haven't been the same since, and that's all I want to say about that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, every race, Max complains about those brakes, and he never did in the prior season or prior to that technical directive. So it could be another one of those, oh, we're fine, everybody's fine, and then we see somebody fall right off a cliff. So that is something to keep your eye on, because I keep forgetting about it, that it's happening, but it is coming up soon. It's coming up in Barcelona. So yeah. And if that's the case, maybe it does bring Ferrari back in the fold. If they're not, I mean, I can't imagine they're taking any part in the flexi wing, because if we're flexi winging it and still the fourth slowest team, God bless us. God fucking bless us. So yeah, I can't imagine Ferrari is partaking in that, but we'll see if McLaren is one of the culprits. That would be crazy twist of events. But it also makes sense why Oscar's driving like a bat out of hell. He's like, let me get my points. Let me accumulate my points, girl. Before my car is no longer, a second faster than everybody else. So yeah, crazy times ahead. Hopefully, I do hope. I'm messy like that. I do kind of hope that somebody big gets hit with that and recalibrate the order a little bit. It's just because Ferrari's flopping so hard. Like we need all of the help we can get. So yeah, I might be praying a little bit on McLaren's downfall, even though I love me some Oscar, but the game's the game. What else from this week? I don't know. I think that's it for me. Honestly, this is Ferrari just pissed me off. And I'm sorry if my energy was like a little off this episode as well. I'm just tired. It's just been a lot this week. I was not anticipating feeling so pissed off after that race. Like it really should not have been that serious. And it's really not that serious. But I don't like that they played in my man's face. You know what I mean? Like that car, damn well that car wasn't going to be good this season. Y'all let me sit up here and be so excited. And that car, not good. Not good. Not good at all. So let us pray. Let us pray that Ferrari gets their shit together for the European leg of this season. Hopefully it's up from here. I don't anticipate that things are going to magically get better, but I do hope that discussions are had. People get the memo, get the message, get on their Zoom, get this shit together. Like, this is a time crunch. Okay? We don't have all damn day. So when I ask you for something, don't be giving me the recipe to your grandma's peach cobbler, okay? Just what I need to know. And quickly. That's it. Before I go, actually, I want to just say thank you to everybody who commented on my previous episode. It seemed like it resonated with a lot of people, and I'm just so happy that everybody's kind of feeling like very similarly, like just I think a little bit frustrated, well not a little bit, very frustrated and fed up with the way Lewis has been treated this season, the narrative, the intensity of the scrutiny that he's facing so far, so early on in the season. I think the fact that everybody's just like on the same page about being so incredibly fucking over it just really like made me feel my feelings feel validated. And I guess in return, you guys also felt very validated in that. I don't know, but that was like a very like cathartic episode to record. If I'm being honest, it just felt so nice to get to just like say all of those things and cuss people out a little bit. I don't know. I just felt like it's getting absurd and out of hand. So I just felt like I needed to like get that off my chest. So I'm glad so many of you guys enjoyed it and let me know. That really meant a lot that I had such positive feedback from it. So I really appreciate you all for tuning in. Thank you so much for engaging. As I said, I will probably see you guys again for Imola. Potentially before that, I want to do a Met Gala recap episode. I don't know. I just loved the theme of the Met Gala this year. I think Lewis did such an incredible job with his suit that he wore. His team did an amazing job. So I want to chat about it. If I have some time this week, I definitely want to sit down and chat. So yeah, you'll see me hopefully before Imola, but if not, definitely I'll be back for Imola. Thank you again for listening and tuning in. I will see you guys very soon. And in the meantime, guys, please take care of yourselves. Stay well. And yeah, I'll see you guys very soon. Sorry, I'm like slowly losing my mind. See you guys later, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. Okay, I'm not going to do fantasy this week only because it's late AF, but I cooked. Once again, I cooked. Cooking for me, by the way, is like scoring more than 90 points. It's like, you know, she's in a good range. I just feel like I still need a lot of work on my fantasy team. I feel like I'm still not getting the concept. Oh my God, VCARB, slayed the special livery. I even did makeup inspired by their livery. Like I was like, I have to have hot pink eyeshadow. Like it has to happen. I loved it so much. I really fucking hate that I'm supporting VCARB, bro, like a racing bull, Red Bull team. I, listen. And then you got Isaac back there slaying quali. And the races, actually. He's doing really great this season. And the pink livery sealed the deal for me. I was just like, okay, I might love you a little bit. But only Isaac, okay? And I temporarily love Liam for making sure that Alonso didn't get his first points of the season. So yeah, he was a little bit useful to me this weekend. But yeah, I'm mainly here for Isaac, and I'm definitely here for that pink livery. That was hot. We need to keep that. I think that should be permanent, if I'm being honest. Just leave it. Yeah, it was perfect. It was perfection. Oh, so cute. So Miami. So fetch. And speaking of supporting teams that I have no business supporting, I'm not supporting Red Bull, but I love me some Yuki. Every week, I'm just like, dude, this guy, like, we can't lose him. Like, you don't understand. Like, if he does not have a seat for 2026, been the whole season. Been the shit. I love him. I love me some Yuki. I just feel like, wow, what a breath of fresh air. What a breath of fresh air. Hey, Big Daddy. Like, what's going on over there? What do you guys have going on in that their garage? Like, oh my God. I love Yuki so much. The way he unhinged his jaw to eat that sushi. Like, can you feed this boy, please? Feed this man. Let him eat his damn sushi and his food. Yuki kills me. Yo, hey, Big Daddy. Hey, Big Daddy. Is going to live in my head rent-free forever. I can't even lie. Like, when I tell you on the floor, I was like, excuse me? What is going on over there? What is happening over there, Red Bull? The team is falling apart, but Yuki and Max, they're locked in like this. And see, we were all worried that Yuki would be kind of like outcasted, or at least I was. But I don't know. It seems like he kind of likes it over there. Like, hey, Big Daddy is insane work. Yuki Tsunoda. But oh my God, his weekend on socials, chef's kiss. Watching him make sushi. Like, this man was born to be a chef, forced to be an F1 driver. Like, let him go live his culinary dreams. Like, all he wants to do is eat and cook food. Like, I love that about him. They did do a taste test for like American snacks with him and a football player. And I'm just like, you guys picked the fucking worst shit. This is my gripe when F1 comes to America and they go, oh, try American food. Like, this happened with Lewis with the Denver Broncos, where they had him try a bunch of Southern food, but they veganized it. So he's over here spitting up gumbo and shit. Like, ooh, what is this? And it's like, bro, it's not their fault. You can only eat fucking jackfruit and bell peppers. Like, that's not what gumbo typically tastes like. But it's like the fact that, like, for Yuki in Miami, they brought him like fucking Twinkies. Who the fuck eats Twinkies? Like, under the fucking age of 50, who is eating Twinkies? No one. Who's eating mini muffins? Like, these are not like ubiquitous to America. Like, I don't think. These are just random snacks you find at 7-Eleven. Like, these are not like every American. Like, I think America, I don't think mini muffins. Like, yes, Twinkies in a sense because it was like invented here, but it's also like nobody eats them. So I don't know. I feel like the social media people just like drop the ball because they pick the weirdest shit. And then everybody has to take a dump on American food. Oh, you guys only eat processed crap. Blah, blah, blah. And maybe you're right. But there's so much better processed crap than that shit. So that's what I will say about that. Like, we need somebody to pick better snacks for next time, because I can't live through another one of these episodes where they're just picking the worst shit ever, acting like we don't hold the crown in snacks. Like, don't play us. Don't play us. The Funyuns was a good choice, though. That was a great choice. Like, accurate. But everything else, try again. Oh my God. Speaking of like F1 and weird American shit that they cling onto, give it a fucking rest with the Will Smith Miami song. Like, you guys really know how to beat a fucking dead horse. Swiping TikTok was like pure torture. Welcome to Miami. Like, babes. There's so many other songs. It doesn't have to have Miami in the title. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is the thing. Google will get you right. Okay? There's artists from Miami that you could pick any song that they make. And it's like, we get it, you know? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, when people who are not Americans come to America, y'all do the most stereotypically American shit, and then you try to shit on America. It's like, not my fault that you guys don't know anything about us past the year 1997. Okay? It's not my fault that your only reference for Miami is Grand Theft Auto. Okay? Like, so much more rich culture there and history there and artists and music. Like, Miami and music, like, no shade to Will Smith. That shit was a banger. But hearing it 700 times on TikTok in one weekend, I never want to hear it again. Like, a little teeny tiny bit of research. Because if we come over to Europe, to one of y'all's countries, and do the most stereotypical shit, it's, oh my God, Americans are so cringe. You guys only do the touristy stuff. You guys only know about the basic stuff. Y'all do the same shit when you come here. And it's just as cringe and it's just as weird. Please. And again, it is Miami and it is Florida. So you're not fully wrong. But even still, there's so much more history and rich culture in Miami. Like, don't play. So yeah, if we could just please pick a new soundtrack for Miami next year, I beg. Cause y'all are wearing it out. Y'all are wearing it out. And I'm done. I can't. Can I just say that the F1 movie, like, marketing is starting to lay itself on a little too thick. You know what I'm saying? Like, Damson Idris came to the Met Gala tonight wearing his Apex F1 uniform and like a bedazzled helmet. And then two people promptly ripped that off to expose, like, you know, a red suit, which looked great. Excellent taste. Beautiful man. But I swear to God, I was getting war flashbacks when that man came on the red carpet with the helmet and the suit on. I was like, I'm not doing this right now. I want to relax. And then all of a sudden, an agitating voice, like, that's how it felt. Like, I don't want to be reminded of Formula One right now. I want to watch the fashions. I'm here for a good time. You don't know. You had your chance. You guys could have done that shit in Miami. Okay. They could have put you in a little Apex Lego car. And they didn't. Why? Why did you have to bring work to the function? You know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, I'm getting so tired of the marketing for this movie. It's like, it's not just some little indie flick. Okay. Like, you don't have to do the weird guerrilla marketing for it. The other thing was the weird ass, like, soundtrack came out, or the list of all the names. I'm just like, these are the most randomest assortment of artists. Why? Who are these people? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, I'm just so like, I don't know, man. The musical direction for F1, I just always have felt is like so strangely bad. And I'm like, I don't fully know why. Like, I don't fully know who's responsible for this, but I'm just like, there's no fucking way that these people need to be on a soundtrack together. Let me find you some of the names so you can understand where I'm coming from. Right. Ooh, Ed Sheeran. Why the fuck? Tate McRae. Who the fuck is this? Like, Jesus Christ. Sexy Red on a F1 soundtrack. You can't even curse on the radio without somebody fucking losing their mind. Do you know the type of music this lady makes? Okay. Madison Beer. Like, who are these people? I mean, yes, I know who these people are. Okay, I guess I should say, why the fuck are they on this soundtrack? What the fuck does Tate McRae have to do with anything? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, for real, Chris Stapleton? Lord of mercy. I mean, granted, I know Chris is gonna like slay, but what a random assortment. What a random assortment of people to have on a soundtrack. Like, Lord of mercy. Anyway. Yeah. Can't wait to hear it. I know every week we joke about Lewis, like being able to gatekeep Lewis Hamilton, but I am a little concerned about the fact that Lewis is so fine on the red carpet. Like, wow. So many people want to know who my man is suddenly. Get a grip. Find your own F1 driver, bros. There's like 19 other guys. There's 19. Pick one. Pick guy. Just not Lewis. Get away from him. Get a job. Stay away. I'm absolutely gagging at Lewis Hamilton at the Met Gala. If ever somebody could understand an assignment, it's him. It's him. It's him. Dressed in Wales bonner, looking like a prince carved out of ivory. He just looks stunning. The hat, the rings. How many freaking carats are those rings? Is it the pinky ring? The rock. My rock. What? The shells, the cowrie shells everywhere with the story behind them. Hi. Hello. What an immaculate outfit. I don't think you could ask for a better Met outfit. I'm not even gonna lie. He slayed.